Welcome to War of the Stars, a Star Wars podcast, broadcasting from deep within the Outer Rim, far beyond the watchful eyes of the Empire and on the fringes with the New Republic. Join your hosts Garrett K. Jones, Brian Karasik, and John Mark Tolley as they discuss the various facets of the saga's lore and characters, review the films, and discuss every tidbit of news coming out of Lucasfilm. Remember, this isn't just your Star Wars, this isn't just my Star Wars. This is our Star Wars. This is the way. And it is indeed the way, because we are back with another fun episode of War of the Stars. Oh. Okay. Welcome, gents. How you guys doing?
I am doing fantabulous.
Doing Everybody great. Enjoy the game yesterday?
What's that?
Did everybody enjoy the game yesterday?
It was fun having family over. We usually go to my sister-in-law's house, but since they're getting a divorce and it was her husband that usually threw the Super Bowl party, my wife decided to throw it at our house, and it was nice. It was it was nice. The game was secondary to us, but no, it was just nice having family over and having the big spread and eating good food.
To me, the main benefit of the Super Bowl is that the lines at the grocery store are much slower once the Super Bowl has begun. I have to admit, I check a lot of boxes on the 80s nerd checklist, and one of them is do not follow sports ball. I have a meme that I'll share. This actually happened some years ago. I was invited to what was referred to me as a watch party. Hey, we're having a watch party Sunday. Do you want to come? Yes. We're all dressing as our favorite team. Okay, great. Can you pick up something at the grocery store on the way? Yes. Okay, so I am told to go to the grocery store and pick up a cake. I picked up a Carolina Panthers sheet cake dressed as Darth Sidious, because when someone invites me to a watch party and says dress as your team, I think it's a Star Wars movie.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, no. What you should have done is go in universe and find like some Star Wars sports and wear a uniform as like the Tatooine Banthas or
that. This is pod racing.
Yeah.
My favorite team. I actually made some team team logos a while ago, and one of them was the Imperial Kashyyyk Flaming Wookiees. I got reported for that one once. That's pretty a good indication of a joke has landed if I get reported. And my favorite, now you two are men of faith, you may not appreciate this as much as I, but regularly on Easter, I found an ArtStation portrait of Darth Maul, shirtless Darth Maul. And whoever drew this picture has got a thing for Darth Maul. Like it's definitely, it is a loving recreation of Darth Maul. He's cut, he's smooth, he looks oiled. Like, I feel like Zac Efron played Darth Maul in this guy's movie. But anyway, I took this picture and I captioned it. He died for his beliefs. He returned from the dead, but 93% will not share Darth Maul for Easter.
I remember seeing that.
Okay, good. And we've lost Mark.
Yeah, apparently his devices are not connected. Hopefully he'll join us back here in just a little bit. In the meantime, I'm going to kind of introduce what we're going to be talking about today. We mentioned it at the end of last week's episode, and we're going to be talking. I mean, if you haven't picked up on the color scheme that we have on our name tags and on the banners, then you're doing yourself a disservice. How can you call yourself a Star Wars fan if you don't recognize the baddest mutha in the galaxy simply by the color alone? And
okay, so we're going
to be talking about the one, the only Mace Windu. who is by far one of the coolest and I would say probably one of the most mysterious of the Jedi in modern canon. I would say. What do you think, Brian?
Okay, Mace Windu. Samuel Jackson is doing a lot of heavy lifting for Mace Windu. Yes, he's a badass. Yes, he's very cool. But would Mace Windu be so cool if he were played by Jared Padalecki?
Probably not. I don't know.
If
He
he
was played by Jaleel White, he might still be cool.
Michael Cera. I mean, yes, Mace Windu he's okay. I have personal beef with Mace Windu for obvious reasons, and I'm going to make this joke. I believe I've made it before in the show, but give me I beg you, go with me on this journey. Vapad, a very rare lightsaber form practiced, indeed mastered, indeed invented by Mace Windu, is said to be a form of lightsaber dueling wherein the practitioner dabbles in the dark side, just leans a little bit into his anger, into her rage, and uses that to give the power of their duel just a little bit of an edge. And that soupçon of dark side gives them just a little bit of an edge in the duel. Now, some say that Vapad is a dangerous tradition to master, but I say that Vapad has an unknown secret power that only one master has ever executed, and it is Mace Windu's ability to lose a battle, witness the Jedi Order fall, its temple burned to ash, and the Sith establish an empire that rules the galaxy for decades, and 30 years after that, the Vapad practitioner will still have people say that they won that duel. And that is the true power of Vapad. And if you don't believe me, ladies and gentlemen at home, post this on any discussion forum. Post that Palpatine won the duel between him and Mace Windu and see how many people disagree with you. And I would, in my own experience, roughly 32% of the people listening right now are angry at me for making that assertion. Gentlemen?
I'm not angry.
No.
I can kind of see your point, but at the same time, you're not entirely wrong.
I'm not entirely right either, though. I will grant that if you put a few modifiers on the conditions of the duel, yes, Palpatine won. But the people are so desperate to say Mace Windu won. Okay, so I will grant that Mace Windu at one point in the duel is armed while Palpatine is not.
Yeah. And then at some point, he is physically and literally disarmed.
Yes. I would say that the events that lead to Palpatine being disarmed are debatably Mace Windu's. In that, Palpatine's plan at that point is essential to him that Anakin Skywalker enter that room and find Palpatine's life in danger. If Anakin shows up and Palpatine's like doing fine, then there is nothing to drive Anakin's choice between light and dark. Anakin can just sit back. Oh, he's great. I'm just here to watch. I'm just a legal observer, if you will. But Palpatine needs Anakin to arrive in that room and see him about to die.
And conversely,
conversely,
if Anakin walks into that room and Palpatine is winning the fight and has Mace on the ropes, then that would mean possibly that then Anakin then moves, doesn't stand back as an observer, but helps Mace Windu.
Exactly that.
And inversely, if he doesn't even show up at all because he actually listened to Mace Windu instead of doing his own thing, then Palpatine's entire plan goes up in smoke and he ends up getting killed anyway.
Yes. So To my assertion that Palpatine won that duel, the most common arguments I have are that Mace Windu disarmed him, and that Palpatine would not have won it without Anakin's intervention. And I can grant that both of these are reasonable points of view. My counterpoint, and it's not fair for me to argue this without someone actually arguing it, but I will say that my counterpoint to that has always been that Mace Windu disarming Palpatine is irrelevant. For one, because as I just said, Palpatine needs Anakin to find him at a disadvantage. But perhaps more importantly, Palpatine does not need a lightsaber to be dangerous. Right? I mean, I've asked people this, and they generally don't respond because it's not a constructive question. But in the mindset of saying, okay, Mace Windu disarmed Palpatine, so ergo Mace Windu won. It's like a TKO or something in the duel. What now? So is Palpatine supposed to, like, he loses the lightsaber and he says, "Oh, fair cop, all right, okay, take me away, you got me." No, he can shoot lightning with his hands. He doesn't need the lightsaber. So being divested of a lightsaber does not render Palpatine a loss. And for that matter, not having a lightsaber serves Palpatine's ultimate goal. So being disarmed, I do not think gives Mace the win. Additionally, for Anakin intervening, again, fair point. But at this point, I don't think we can really give Palpatine credit for engaging in a fair fight. So yes, if this was a duel in the temple where Palpatine had agreed to meet Mace Windu and salute and fight and, Expelliarmus or whatever, yes, having Anakin show up and intervene would, I think, disqualify him. But we're not in a tournament. We're fighting for our lives. We're fighting for the fate of the galaxy. And Palpatine set up this particular moment specifically so that Anakin would show up at that specific time. Anakin's arrival on the scene is no more, it's as foregone a conclusion as if Palpatine had a second lightsaber in his pocket. That's what Anakin is. And Anakin had exactly that much agency, I think.
Yeah, I would agree with you on that, Brian. I think the part where I think it is, I mean, the whole thing hinges strictly on the idea that Anakin shows up in the first place. Like, again, if he doesn't, as dangerous as Palpatine is, I mean, you've said it yourself. Palpatine's biggest downfall is using his own abilities because they get turned back on him.
Stop shooting lightning.
Which is probably like that right there is like his signature move. It's like Harry Potter doing Expelliarmus. It's the thing he's known best for, other than talking a good trash game.
The three most damaging things that happened to Palpatine in the entire saga are all due to him shooting lightning and not stopping when he should.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm sure
he dies twice because of that.
I'm sure we've talked about this before, but I mean, can we talk about how, like, you hear about these crazy supervillain plans that everything has to go perfectly right. For Palpatine, it's the same thing. Everything had to be perfectly right. If one thing goes wrong in Palpatine's plan, everything goes.
Well, and not all supervillains have Palpatine's ability to see the future and mind control and read minds. So he had it kind of easy, and honestly.
Going back to Mace Windu.
He's got Find My Friends on Anakin. Like in the book, he's tracking Anakin's location while he's fighting Mace. It's a funny sidebar.
Going back to Mace for a second,
I know. Sorry to make this about Palpatine.
We're
used to it.
Yeah. Anyway, going back to Mace Windu, I was thinking about this as I was working today. In a way, is Mace the culmination of, and the embodiment of everything that was both good and wrong about the Jedi Order at that time? He was stuck in his ways.
Mm-hmm.
He was a bit arrogant.
Yeah.
And he he wasn't willing to change and blind what was right in front of him. Only thing he got right in a lot of ways was Anakin. And even that, what he was wrong about. Like, for the moment he was a boy, he's like, I don't trust that kid. There's something about him. I don't trust that kid. But instead of handling it the right way, I think he handled Anakin the complete wrong way. Like, in so many ways, he was everything that was wrong and corrupt about the Jedi at the time.
I would agree with you on that, because especially with, and this is piggybacking off of what Brian was saying earlier with his development of the pod as his lightsaber form. He was the only major practitioner of that form, and it takes you dangerously close to using the dark side. It takes the Form 5 Gemso combat style and makes it a highly aggressive form in which, the force energy within the user, tap dances with the dark side. And the fact that he was willing to do that with himself and then be judgmental towards anyone who slipped anywhere close to the dark side, whoever gave into their baser emotions, whoever gave into their passions, whatever that looked like, is a massive hypocrisy that even Yoda didn't even want to address. And whether or not Yoda recognized it or not, it does not get addressed. Yeah. And like, as cool as Mace Windu is, he's kind of a dick.
Yeah. Very much so, yeah.
He is, and not to dwell on it over much, but he's so set in his ways, and I really like your observation that he's sort of indicative of the Jedi Order itself. He, upon meeting Anakin, immediately says he's too old to send him back to Tatooine, which, as I have harped on previously, is about the cruelest thing you could possibly do to this child. Right. Hey, you have superpowers. Come look at this awesome planet. Look at the other people with superpowers. Look what you almost could be. And this one guy says, no.
We're going to send you back so you could go be a slave again.
Back to slavery. Yeah. Have a look. Like, have a look around. Get some lunch. But yeah. Like.
Oh, and even the fact that he would do that. I mean, the least you could do is be like, you know what? You're too old to be a Jedi, but we'll set you up. We'll put you with a foster family here in Coruscant. You can live out your life.
Something.
Yeah, but no. Go back to the desert. Go back to the huts.
Right. And
yeah,
it's unconscionable, and that even I joke about like, from my point of view, the Jedi are evil. Look at what happens to Ahsoka Tano. Like the Jedi are just objectively a cruel organization by that point, which is not how they were intended to be. I think that's part of the story is that they've become ready to go. I mean, even Luke says it was time for the Jedi.
Not to make this about the Jedi, but we're talking about a Jedi here. Is in many ways, I think Order 66 could have been the best thing to happen to the Jedi Order. I'm being in a way.
Dark side, Mark.
This has nothing to do with the dark side. This has to do with they needed to get. There is a term, and my wife uses it all the time, but it's basically when you reach your bottom, the bottom rung that you can go. And you realize, it takes that sometimes to realize, like, oh, we've messed up. And I think that's what needed to happen in the Jedi Order, is they needed that sort of wake-up call and that almost purge to reach their lowest point to...
Just got to turn it off, turn it back on again. just real quick. Just like give it a 10 count.
Have you tried turning off
One of my favorite memes, I have a screenshot of Luke saying it's time for the Jedi to end. Mm-hmm. And then in the next panel, I have Palpatine saying, oh, sure, but when I say it, everybody makes a big thing about it.
That's funny.
It really is just about the delivery in some cases.
Yeah.
In other news, I do think, like I can complain about Mace Windu all day long, but he's a vibrant character, and I've got his comic book, and I read Shatterpoint. I got it from the library, but he's a fascinating character, and I like. Let's hit on the big one. Everybody knows Samuel Jackson's prop has BAMF engraved on it. We know this, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. And the story, I don't know if this is true or not, but the story I heard is that it is purple because Samuel Jackson wanted to be able to see himself in crowds when he went and saw the movie with his mom. Have you heard that same thing?
I have heard. Yeah.
Something along those lines. Yeah. That, I think purple was one of his favorite colors.
I mean, it's because he's a pimp. I mean, it's just all there is to it, but I'm just talking about Shaf.
Well, what's interesting is like you go back through, and because we talked about Vapad being his preferred combat form, and there's actually in the first volume of the Clone Wars graphic novels put out by Dark Horse, there is a part of that story arc where he is interacting with a few other Jedi Masters. Some of them are on the council, others are not. And there's a Weequay Jedi Master named Sora Bulk who has been talking with Dooku because Dooku's been recruiting out of the Jedi Order, and Bulk actually
don't tell anyone I asked.
Good Christopher Lee.
Thanks.
He actually ends up saying something that catches Windu's attention, and Windu finally just puts the pieces together. He's like, "So when did you switch sides?" And the first thing that Sora Bulk does is he starts using Vapad, but by this point he has corrupted his lightsaber to a red blade.
I'm just gonna shout out this book right here if anybody has the opportunity to read that, because it is.
That's one of the next one's on my list.
And let me just take a moment here. The chair behind me, folks at home, you may have seen in the background a brown chair. Now this chair has been in my childhood, in my life since 1979, which was a real year for somebody. It used to be brown because it was made in the 70s and that was the law. But this was my Death Star. The back of this chair, when I was a kid, I would draw on it with like dry erase markers and make trench lines and stuff on it. So this was my Death Star, then spinning around, and there's the baddest. I got in so much trouble for playing Star Wars on this, and I've just had it kicking around my house ever since. I got it reupholstered in this nice blue. I think it's very cool. It's spacey. It matches my office. And guys, you're gonna love this. My next cosplay.
I'm wondering what he's getting. He's telling me it's a Lego Death Star.
I'm going as my chair.
When you like the color so much, you get a vest made out of it.
That's right. I gotta get the buttons put on, but the guy who delivered it, he and his girlfriend have a tailor business going, and I was like, I got some leftover leather from the back of this chair, man. So like, I'm gonna get a blue velour tracksuit and this vest, and just like, I'm tired of cosplays that just everybody recognize, like Oogie Boogie, Palpatine. Everybody gets that. Like, our next category is, I think he's serious, so please play along. It's Brian dressed as his chair. Anyway, so it's pretty comfortable considering that it's just furniture vinyl. Be that as it may, I've always liked Samuel Jackson. Big fan of his work. I do think, to come back to the Palpatine of it all, I gotta admit there's a connection there. This here is my Topps trading card binder, and I won't put you to too much trouble, but it's nothing but Palpatine. Just pages and pages of Palpatine. But I do have.
I'm going to quote Michael Jordan here. Stop it. Get some help.
Here's Mace. I do have a Mace Windu because thanks to Mark Van Olen, my good friend at Topps, some years ago at Star Wars Celebration 2017 in Orlando, I missed a chance to see Ian McDiarmid. They were going to try to get me in there to meet him, and it just didn't work out. And Mark, to kind of sweeten the deal, he sent me a box of every Palpatine card that was currently printed by Topps. So I've got a really nice box of them. And one Mace Windu, which is fun because I was on the road when I received this box. So my wife Claire opened it for me. She's going through it. She's like, "Oh, it's different people." I was like, "Oh, I thought it would just be one." She's like, "Oh yeah, there's this Palpatine, and then there's Darth Sidious. And then there's Chancellor Palpatine, and I mean, I love her. She's listened to a lot of this stuff, and she's got to delete some of it. Like she's got to clear the cache.
That's like asking if Tom Riddle and Lord Voldemort are different people. Oh, that.
Well, I mean, she's heard me debate. I'm not a fan of the Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader are different people thing. I'm really more of a whose fingerprints are on the lightsaber kind of situation. But I
mean, technically have fingerprints. He's got robot hands.
That's a good point. I don't know if they install pain sensors in the feet. I wonder if they might install fingerprints. That's funny. Garrett, you mentioned that. You remind me in that Tales of Luke Skywalker anthology where we meet the Death Star truther.
Yeah,
who's seen both versions of the movies. There's a very dramatic scene where a hooded stranger in a bar orders something hot and is handed a hot beverage and takes it in their right hand, and everyone's like, "Oh, watch out, it's hot," and then they're like, "Oh no, it's fine," and it's like this big dramatic moment. I'm like, does nobody in this galaxy heard of gloves or robot hands? Like Luke's not the first person with a robot hand. Like, it's really a dramatic moment where Luke takes this hot beverage and everyone's like, "Oh no!"
Like, Luke was one of the few people who had a prosthetic that looked like a regular hand.
Did it though? I thought
if you go into Return of the Jedi, the reason why he puts on that black glove is to cover over the exposed servos after he gets shot with the blaster.
Right.
And so because before that he didn't have the glove. But if you look at it, his hand looks normal, looks fleshy. I mean, you even see it at the end of Empire Strikes Back when they're closing it all up and you get to see all the servos inside.
That's interesting. I had forgotten about that. That's a weird book too. And folks, if you missed that episode, we meet in the Luke Skywalker anthology. We meet someone who does not believe that the Death Star actually blew up. First off, there was really a Death Star, and they don't believe it blew up. And as evidence, they cite the fact that they've seen holovids where sometimes the Death Star blows up and there's like a ring that goes out from it, and then sometimes it blows up and there's no ring. And the guy's like, "How can one explosion look two different ways? It doesn't make sense." Like, this is a character in Star Wars who has seen the special editions of the movies. That's very upsetting.
And the theatrical editions.
That's right. Like, how can this be? That reminds me of, to touch on Harry Potter. In the very first Harry Potter movie, when Harry first goes to the Leaky Cauldron, there is a wizard who's reading A Brief History of Time.
No, that's in Prisoner of Azkaban.
Okay, thanks. Prisoner of Azkaban. So he's reading Brief History of Time. Magic. Wandless magic, stirring coffee with his finger, reading physics. And he's the only wizard we see imply that he understands mathematics at all, much less physics.
Yeah, that's screw Voldemort. That's the wizard I'd be afraid of.
That's right.
If he can understand how to bend space and time in a way that, oh, dude.
Well, we've talked about this, I don't know if did you read the comic book series Transmetropolitan?
I've heard of it. I've never read it.
Oh boy, it's so good. Transmetropolitan. There's a concept they mention in there where once humanity creates replicator technology, then civilization ends. because there is no further need to advance. There is
you can
no
basically replicate everything.
Yes, no goal is paramount to create a replicator. That's all you need. Once you can generate a replicator, you can make anything else, and nothing else matters. So yeah, no one else tries to do anything.
That would also completely destroy economies.
Yeah.
And
it has. It's
destroy the Star Trek universe too. That goes away with the Star Trek universe because they have replicator technology there. But
although, to be fair, you look at the Voyager series and they have very limited use of the replicators because of how it uses energy, and they can't. They don't want to deplete that when they're trying to travel back home in a time frame that takes them like an entire lifetime.
I like Lower Decks when some guy walks by in a little towel and Mariner yells at him, you can replicate a bigger towel.
Speaking of little things, we're actually going to take a little bit of a break from the discussion on Mace Windu for just a moment, because yesterday, we're recording this on Monday, obviously, but yesterday, or this last weekend, we had the Super Bowl. And it wasn't all that super. It was meh.
A superb owl party.
Yes.
The super owl. We had the superb owl.
But there was a one particular trailer out of all the movie trailers that stood out, especially for us, because it is the official trailer of the newest Star Wars movie coming out this year, The Mandalorian and Grogu. And both Mark and I saw this. Brian has not, so we will be watching this and doing a
Grogu is the little orange one with the white things, right?
No, Grogu is the hey. I saw what you did there. So we're gonna watch this. We'll have a reaction. And apologies in advance if we get dinged by the YouTube overlords for using this. They can bite me.
It's only 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's enough.
Just cut it off. Cut it off 7 seconds before the end.
Sometimes we choose our path. Other times the path chooses us. Through it all, we keep pushing forward, driven by a deeper purpose, guided by an unseen force. The journey never gets any easier. The bond just gets harder to break. This is the way.
Only in theaters and IMAX, May 22nd.
And anyone get a weird like Budweiser Clydesdale vibe?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is this movie coming out on television in 1992? Like, what's with those tauntauns?
Apparently, it's supposed to be coming out in theaters this year.
I mean, I'm going to see it. I don't get me wrong, but I kind of
like the old-fashioned tauntauns. I mean,
I think they're going for a. Yeah, I think they're going for a look there, but like it
those
definitely
tauntauns look miniature, man.
It looked like a Christmas special, honestly. It looked
like I half expected this to be something that we were releasing for kids only on Disney Plus in December.
I am General Dodonna. I'm the king of Ding-a-ling.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's gonna be great. I love the Mandalorian story. Mando has really revitalized that culture for me. I give a damn about Mandalorians before that show. Sabine Wren really overstayed her welcome for me. Boba Fett was cool because he was the only one.
And then they emasculated him in his own show.
And they emasculated him on his own. Well, I mean, I didn't care so much about that. Similar to the Solo movie, I did not have any investment in Boba Fett, so how the show treated him, I was indifferent to. I just liked the show.
That's fair.
But because honestly, I never saw why everybody was so enamored of him in the first place. As I have said here before, we don't see him ever do what he's supposed to be so good at. So
Yeah.
Whatever. I liked the show because we actually see him competent at things as opposed to standing around complaining about stuff in the movies. But I really like the Mandalorian. I like the culture. I like the whole "this is the way" thing. When are they shaving is interesting to me, but like it's fine. I'm sure it comes up. But I'm excited to see the movie. I have a picture of myself in full costume, makeup, contacts, sitting in a Marriott at 3 a.m. because I am going to wear my damn costume to a premiere, even if that premiere is on Disney Plus. So I've only done that a couple times, and really it was for the picture. But I'm excited to see a theater show come out, man. They overdid it with the sequel trilogy, and I'm glad they've given us a few years. I'm excited again. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah. It'll be interesting because this is the first Star Wars movie coming out since 2019. So it's been 6.5 years by this point, which will be interesting. I'm not sure. I'm cautiously optimistic because Jon Favreau is directing this. So I like the way that he directs this. I don't know how I feel about having more Mandalorian and Grogu is just he's a tiresome cash grab for me. It's product placement, and I'm tired of it. Yeah. Like his story arc should have wrapped up at the end of season 2. We didn't need him. We honestly didn't really need him back for season 3, but they shoehorned him coming back in, and they wedged those 2 episodes of Boba Fett to basically explain that, instead of just focusing on Boba Fett and making him look as good as he possibly could. And I don't know. I'm really
all that Tusken Raider stuff. So cool. Yeah, but yeah. You're right though. You're right. Grogu reminds me of if you went to see a Batman movie and you couldn't go anywhere for everybody dressed like Robin. It's not about that. Scram, beat it. It's not. And I, being not only an old school nerd but also a snob about it, I really had enough of the Baby Yoda stuff. The second time I heard it, and I am also exactly the kind of nerd who will explain to you the chronology of where Grogu falls in the timeline, like on an airport shuttle. Excuse me, I saw your T-shirt and I had to explain to you why you're wrong. Everybody.
Oh, you're that guy.
Yeah. Oh, so something. You're the actually guy.
No, well, what's funny is I am militarily trained in sales and in forming rapport. So I am the actually guy, but in a way that we part as friends. So what I do is annoying, but not in an annoying way. You'll realize I'm annoying after the fact, but we're already Facebook friends.
Mark, what about you? What did you think of the trailer?
I don't know, because we didn't really, other than just seeing Mando and Grogu, we really didn't see anything.
That's why I didn't watch it. There's no information.
The other teaser trailer that we got early a couple months ago, we got a lot more. This was just I was just like Mando.
It's a reminder that the movie's coming out.
Yeah,
yes,
that's all it was.
The information contained in this trailer is that there is a movie, the name of it, and by that we can derive who the characters are.
Who was the voiceover guy?
That was Sam Elliott.
Thank you.
Oh, that's right.
Mr. Glorious Mustache Cowboy himself.
Was for dinner.
So is Sam Elliott going to be in the movie?
I
hope he narrates it. He should narrate everything.
Of course, if Sam Elliott showed up in a Star Wars movie, you would hear a sudden sploosh of every woman in the county getting excited by that, because despite his age, women of all ages seem to love that man and his message.
I want him and Nick Offerman to do something in Star Wars. I just want them to play 2 old Jedi complaining about the new kids or something.
Have you seen them interact on Parks and Rec?
Yeah, that's why I want them to be together. Yeah, the 2 Rons. I no longer like Ron.
The two Rons.
So
and they did have a Star Wars name that's similar to Ron, but not quite, like a Star Warsy version of Ron.
Like they already had that. I've seen the cosplay. Yeah, there's a guy. I assume he's still doing it, but in Chicago in 2019, I saw a guy doing a flawless Thrawn Swanson cosplay.
Oh, and quick little aside about Nick Offerman from Champaign, Illinois, my hometown.
Naturally.
Went to the University of Illinois.
Nice. And while we're on the topic, Leslie Knope and I share a birthday.
Oh.
The character or the actress?
The character.
Okay.
In the episode of Parks and Recreation where we learn that Leslie Knope is born in Eagleton, not Pawnee as she thought, there is a rather extended chase for her birth certificate, and we learn that her birth certificate shows that she was born on January 18th of 1975.
Yes.
So she's a year younger.
You're all enjoying this Parks and Recs podcast.
It's the Mace Windu episode of Parks and Rec.
Right.
I do want to say, I think that Sam Jackson is one of those actors who largely is Sam Jackson, right? Like he's the Clooney of his demographic. Like he's essentially Shaft, Jules, and Mace Windu, some combination of those three characters.
And the shotgun hobo from Coming to America.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
that was his first role.
Okay, I stand corrected because that character is quite a deviation from every movie we generally see. And I love Sam Jackson because he knows it. His role in Deep Blue Sea.
Oh yeah.
Where he starts out on the traditional Sam Jackson monologue of this we're gonna do, and we're gonna get together, and he just dies immediately. God, that's awesome.
Yeah. Well, what's interesting though is like I didn't know who Samuel L. Jackson was until after I saw Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
And then the next movie I saw with him in it wasn't Pulp Fiction, even though that had come out like the year before. The movie that I saw him in that came out after Jurassic Park was Die Hard with a Vengeance, when he played opposite Bruce Willis. And I thought he just did a fantastic job in that role because while he was playing himself, he wasn't playing himself, you know?
It's not that he's playing himself, it's just that he's got a tone.
Yeah.
And I think at this point, it's not even that he's typecast. It's just that people want that.
Yeah.
I saw him in Pulp Fiction. Jurassic Park first, but he didn't register as Sam Jackson. You know,
because it was such a small part.
Right. He barely said mother, much less the rest of it. So but then I saw him in Black Snake Moan. And that is a crazy good movie. If you've not seen it, I highly recommend. Being a fan of a multiverse concept, in my mind, I like to pretend that all movies take place in the same continuity. And so join me, if you will, on the thought exercise of Mace Windu going into hiding on Earth so that Sidious doesn't hunt him down and kill him, working as a bodyguard and enforcer for Marcellus Wallace, and then retiring to the swamps of Louisiana, where he meets Wednesday Addams and chains her to a radiator. I mean, for all the right reasons, though. It's like although
I have a deeper cut in universe thing. So not only does Samuel L. Jackson appear in Jurassic Park, which is a Michael Crichton based story. He also has a major role in Sphere, also based on a Michael Crichton story.
Naturally.
But but the character he plays is not. It's a very subsumed version of himself. Like he's not being his usually over boisterous self.
Bombastic, yeah.
Yeah, and the fact that he is playing two separate characters in movies based off of Michael Crichton stories is kind of cool.
Just looking to see if he's in Andromeda Strain.
He is not. That came out in the 70s. And again, his first motion picture wasn't until Coming to America.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's funny. ChatGPT is confused because there is a character in Andromeda Strain named Jackson.
So I love the story of
this is that Ashla thing all over again.
You've heard the story about how he got the role as Nick Fury, right?
Yeah, it's because Marvel
told Feige that he was getting it.
No. What happened was back in the early 2000s when Marvel was doing their Ultimate imprint, they did a version called The Ultimates, and the version that they portrayed as Nick Fury, the design was heavily influenced by Samuel L. Jackson's appearance. And so when he found out about it, rather than suing Marvel for likeness infringement, he basically said, look, if you make a movie that involves Nick Fury, I want to play Nick Fury. And that's how he got cast.
See, I heard a little bit differently. I heard that he was at a comic book store, and he picked up a version. He said, "Why am I on the cover of this?" And he called Marvel, and Marvel said, like, actually,
that's exactly how. Well, that's how it happened. That's like he was at the comic book store. He saw that, and it just absolutely floored him that they use his likeness. Like, I've got the book. It is spot on. Like I'm like, and what's funny is in the book they're actually talking about like what would happen if there was a movie made about the Ultimates, and they're
this is the plot of Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
It got a little meta, and they're like, yeah, Fury would be played by Samuel Jackson, and Matthew McConaughey will play Hank Pym, and Lucy Liu will play Janet Pym, his wife, because in that version she's half Asian. And they're like, and they're like, Tony, who's going to play you? He's like, Johnny Depp, of course. And Johnny Depp had actually been one of the actors that they were looking for to play Iron Man before they started looking at Tom Cruise, and Tom Cruise passed on it, and they went to Robert Downey Jr.
That was my favorite part of the Deadpool Wolverine movie, is seeing all the different Wolverines, including the
Cavalrine.
Yes, the Cavalry. And don't forget comic accurate Wolverine.
Oh yeah, the Short King.
Short King, yeah. No, my favorite, not to get off on a tangent here, my other favorite one is when Chris Evans shows up. And he's like, he's gonna say it.
And he's Johnny Storm.
Yes, he goes,
Flame on!
Yes. Wait, what?
I love the after credit scene where we see that he really did say all those things about that. What? I didn't say that. I didn't say that. And that works on so many levels, because like at first you just think Deadpool is just messing with him, but then he's not. It works both ways. I wish I enjoyed the comic books as much as I enjoyed that film. Well, Mace Windu is one of the rare Jedi who may actually be descended from Force users, because his people are a naturally Force-sensitive race. Oh, the Harun Kal. Yeah. Yes. Jumping back on there, yeah. I often complain that people just assumed that Rey would be somebody's kid, and then I complained that they made her somebody's kid. But I have always been frustrated by the assumption in our fan base that anybody new must be related to somebody. Like it makes the galaxy too small. It seems unimaginative, and it's like, were you so appalled by the surprise of Luke being Vader's son that you never want another surprise? Now everybody has to be somebody's child. And I pointed out the statistics of like how few Force users we see in the movies who are descended from Force users, because the Jedi don't have kids. And I had it pointed out to me, that's how I learned that Mace Windu comes from a Force using species. So perhaps his parents are Force. With the exception of Ki-Adi-Mundi. Ki-Adi-Mundi, who is allowed to go back to his home planet to sire children every few years because they have such a weird lifespan. I call him Jedi Master Mac tonight. And that's a very time-specific joke. That's only late 80s reference, man. Yes, that's a Gen X Star Wars fan. Let's bring up Mac tonight for the kids at home. See why I'm making that joke, shall we? Yes, that's right, Brian. Gen Xers unite. Yes, we do. But I'm on that weird borderline cusp of am I Gen X or am I millennial or Gen Y, whatever you want to call me, because like I'm born in 82 and I remember all these things that the Gen Xers remember because I was exposed to it, but then I also remember all these things that the other millennials my age can't remember.
Yes, Claire is that generation. She was born in August of 81.
An exennial is what that's called.
Something like that.
I'm borderline. I'm kind of there too because I was 77, so I'm at the tail end of Gen X.
74.
Yeah.
Sweet spot.
My ex-wife was 73.
Folks at home, Mac tonight was an inexplicable character.
He had the crooning quality of Bobby Darin in The Face of the Moon.
And I'm going to present, if I may.
Go for it. I've got nothing presenting, so you're good. Dude, I remember those commercials.
Oh, me too.
They were a little creepy. Like,
yeah.
So this is Mac tonight, and he was an anthropomorphic moon. And he sang a little song that went something like, when the clock strikes 6:30, babe, time to head for golden lights. It's a good time for the great taste. Hey, of McDonald's. Oh, it's Mac tonight. So, yeah, that was it. And I think he looks like Ki-Adi-Mundi. I mean, look at the face, guys. He's at least related.
It's like if Ki-Adi-Mundi went back to his home planet and had a baby with Max Headroom.
Yeah, it is like that. That's upsetting.
Yes, I'm very Thank you for putting that in my mind.
And now, whenever you guys see Matt Frewer on television, you'll be like, "Oh dear God, what did Garrett just say?"
Oh dear God, what did Garrett just say?
Woo! Late 80s.
I was a big fan of Max. We got Cinemax just to watch that show. My parents were like, "What is this? I gotta see it."
Oh, man.
You know what? It was such an interesting premise, but it was weird.
Blipverts.
Yeah.
And like all dystopian future television shows, much of it has come true.
Yeah, you're not kidding, man. You are so not kidding. Anyway, I think that just about wraps it up for us tonight.
I saw someone wearing a hat the other day that said "Make dystopia fictional." Yeah, I like that a lot.
Yeah.
Well, if we could stop making our sports ball events look like the Hunger Games. Anyway,
so I know this episode was supposed to be about Mace Windu, but I think it ended up being more about Mace-llaneous. This was a great episode.
That actually may not be a bad idea.
I apologize to the folks at home and to fans of Mace Windu for my 20-year-long fixation on complaining about Mace Windu and belittling him and denigrating him. It stems largely from the fact that I am a Palpatine cosplayer since 1980, and when somebody messes with my guy, I get really bizarrely sensitive about it. So
that makes sense.
And if just as a peace offering, if I may, I will say to all the Mace Windu fans out there, I will admit that Palpatine kills the other three in one swing and doesn't even lay a glove on Windu. Like, he needed Mace alive. If he had wanted Mace dead, Mace would have been dead before Anakin got out of bed. That's just all there is to it. 4 Jedi in front of him, Palpatine leaps, does a 720 horizontal, and kills 3 of them before they have a chance to blink. Read the novel. There's a great scene. He records the whole thing. He's begging for his life while he's killing all 3 of them because he's going to play that recording for the Senate.
That makes sense.
He says to Stacey Tin, "You're a telepath. Look in my mind. You can see the reality. You can see the truth of my words," while he's killing him. And then he turns off the recording, and it says this in the book, Matthew Stover is a genius. He turns off the recording, and this is what he does to Mace Windu. And then he fights.
That's cool.
Great.
I would have loved to have seen that scene in the actual.
Me too. Oh.
here's what you got to do. Get your costume stuff, fly to California. We'll reshoot the scene. I mean, I don't think.
Oh wait! I look like Barris Offee in this thing.
I don't think I can cast myself as Mace Windu, though. I don't think that'll go over well.
No.
Unless people are just going to be willing to accept someone that Mace Windu has gotten really, really pale lately.
I did not become queen, so my people suffer unknown.
And with that note, we're going to wrap it up. Brian, tell the folks at home where they can find you.
Folks, you can come see me at the Sith Library and Archives on Facebook, where we collect the galaxy's largest collection of dark side-based art, culture, and just general fun stuff here. So come on board here. I post as Darth Corosis. You can come see us out there. We got a good team, and we're always happy to have more folks. 50,000 people, no big deal. Join the party.
Awesome. As for me, you guys can catch me on Instagram and X at GKJ_publishing, where I talk about my books, The Archives of Hussein Quran, and I also talk about my show, The Right Way, which has a new episode coming out this Saturday on Valentine's Day, just in time to help me celebrate my 44th birthday on Friday. Also, I am doing a giveaway. You guys can connect with that on my social media. But I'm doing a box set giveaway of all my books. You can sign up for free, and you can at the end of the month, I will be announcing a winner. So yeah, that's about it. Happy birthday to me early.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
All right. As for us right here at War of the Stars, if you want to get a hold of us, a few ways you can do that. First, our email is warofthestars1@gmail.com. We are also on all other social medias, Blue Sky, Instagram, X, and YouTube at War of the Stars 77. Check us out there. Also check us out on our Ko-fi.com/War of the Stars and spreadshirt.com/shop/War of the Stars. To get all the cool merch that we have to offer there. We are a proud member of Feast of Fandoms. Go to Feast of Fandoms YouTube channel. Check out not just this show, but all the other shows. If you're watching us on YouTube right now, check us out there. And also audio. We are on Spotify and all other podcasts. Wherever you find your podcast, if you want to check us out on audio only, you can do that. Check us out there. Those episodes come out on Friday, and they come out on the YouTube channel. The Feast of Fandom is on Wednesdays, so check that out. First of all, I want to give a quick shout out to all the people who have been checking us out across all the platforms on the audio version. Whether you're a new listener or an old listener, thank you very much for checking us out. Next week, we will be talking about love across the galaxy with special guest Will, aka Darth Tuba, will be rejoining us for an episode talking about the romances across the Star Wars universe. With that being said, remember, this is not just my Star Wars. This is not just your Star Wars. This is our Star Wars. May the Force be with you.